let's talk about something that comes up on specifically the private pilot check ride, and that is diversions. Diversion calculations, which sounds more involved than it actually is, but all a diversion is, what is a diversion? A diversion is a situation where I am on my way to a destination, to a certain place, and I change my mind, or I decide to land elsewhere, or something came up, weather came up, whatever it might be, and now it prevents me from continuing on to my destination. So I have to divert. So we're diverting, we're coming up with a new plan, a new destination. So on your private check ride, you will be asked to execute a diversion. And all that means is that you'll be flying, most likely, most DPEs, the way they do it is you'll be taking off and you'll start out on your navlog that you prepared towards your destination. You'll probably fly only 2 or 3 of the first waypoints just to confirm, oh yeah, we burned the similar amount of fuel that I calculated, and it took us a similar amount of time. But at the end of the 2 or 3 waypoints, the DPE, the examiner, will tell you, hey, let's divert to, I don't know where, give you an airport. And he'll want to see you execute that. So obviously in these glass cockpits, the easiest way to do it is nearest, so that you can just do direct enter. Very easy. But for the sake of this discussion, let's assume that my destination, right here, direct enter, which is Trona, is that diversion airport, which is the same thing. It draws a line between us and it gives us our distance, our bearing, it gives us our ground speed, our fuel over destination, our ETA, and our ETE. Now all these numbers are true if indeed you did a direct enter function where the destination airport is your next waypoint. Otherwise, if there's an actual flight plan going on and you look at these numbers, it would be inaccurate, because these numbers up here, the pink, the magenta, they show the information to your next waypoint. In our case, our next waypoint is my destination airport. So something to keep in mind. But as long as your diversion airport is actually your next waypoint, all this information should be accurate. Now, the questions that you'll be asked to answer when you conduct a diversion is, what's the distance between us and that new airport that we're going to? How long will it take us to get there? How much fuel will we burn between here and there? So the 2 first questions are really easy, and those are straightforward. The distance is right here, 105 miles, and the ETE is 52 minutes. So right off the bat, you could look at the DPE and say, yeah, it's right there, easy. But people get hung up on answering the question of how much fuel am I going to burn between here and my destination. So in order to answer that question, I'm currently climbing, and if you guys know anything about what I think of the avionics in a climb, you shouldn't trust it. But let's assume I'm cruised out, let's assume that these numbers are accurate. Here's the easiest way to go ahead and figure out how many gallons of fuel you're going to burn between here and the destination. And it goes like this. 1,000 go. Every airplane, their display will be a little different, but in this plane specifically, if we go to system right here, we see gallons remaining. And up here we see FOD, fuel over destination. So check this out. The easiest way to figure out on the fly how much fuel you're going to burn between here and your destination airport, the new one that you just made up, and you could do this with any airport, is you come and you find your gallons remaining and you look, so you see 74, and then you take the FOD, the fuel over destination. So you do 74 minus FOD, right? Because we're going to arrive with 57, but we currently have 74. So 74 minus 57 is how much? So 74 minus 54 would be 20, plus 3, because it's 57, or minus 3. So we're looking at 17. So on the fly, you could answer the examiner and say, you know what? We're going to arrive at our destination with 17 gallons of fuel on, we're going to burn 17 gallons of fuel between here and our destination, because we currently have 74 and we're going to arrive with 57. Now, don't do this in a climb like I am right now, because obviously the computer snags this climb ground speed with this distance and it figures out gallons an hour you're going to arrive. So in reality, we will actually arrive at our destination with more than 57 gallons. But again, for the sake of answering this question, we were saying, let's assume that we're cruised out and everything is leveled out and settled where these numbers are accurate. So I hope that makes sense. Direct enter on the nearest, or you could just do any nearest, whatever that might be. Look to see up here, here's the distance, 100 miles, here's the ETE 50 minutes, and then for how much fuel you're going to burn, not a problem. I have 74 gallons left, I'm going to arrive with 57. I'm going to burn 17 gallons between here and my destination. You could do all that on the fly. Great information is provided with these glass cockpits. It's all a matter of knowing how to use it, what to look at, and so on and so forth. So I hope that makes sense when it comes to diversion calculations. It's all right here in front of you. Really easy.